What's up, everyone? Joe Gray here. I'm joined with my buddy Tim, and we're going to talk about his experiences in the garage gym competition, specifically talking about the spring 2023 GGC. Tim, what's up, man?
How you doing, Joe?
Good, good, good. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
So, you've competed in the GGC for how many years?
5 years. I missed the
Five.
first year. I think 2018 was your first year, right?
Yeah.
So just a little background on my gym. My daughter was born, our first child uh, was born in May of 2018.
Yep.
So right when the first competition was occurring, and my gym started in March of 2018.
Okay.
So it was just bare bones at that point in time. And I was trying to remember back, and I can't remember if I knew of the competition and was just too busy with her being born and everything else, or if I didn't find about it until later on. But yeah, May of 2019 was my first entry.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, I know we had like 80 people total that first year. And I think from year one to this year, there's only, it's like a dozen or so people, maybe less, that have made it that far.
Hmm.
So, even to have a home gym in 2018 was pretty rare. That big boom and during COVID was kind of the kicker for a lot of people. So,
Right.
yeah,
One of my kind of life philosophies is, never the biggest or the strongest necessarily, but to be as strong as possible, as long as possible, and just keep showing up. And that's one
nice.
thing that I love about the garage gym competition.
Nice. I like it. Yeah, I've been quoted quite a few times saying that, I've probably done more wrong in my lifting journey than right. The only thing I know I've done right is I've continued to show up.
Keep
Just
showing up. That's
just
right.
over and over and over again. I keep being here. So yeah, I like it.
That's a huge win, though.
Yep. All right. So you've been pretty lucky in the GDC, beyond all the fun stuff of being able to participate and everything like that. You are one of the few that get to take home a prize, and you've actually took home a couple, right? So tell me about the stuff before the spring. What have you taken home so far?
Yeah. So actually, a total of three prizes over the 5 years that I've done it. And I've done some of the fall competitions as well. So 5 years, but more than five competitions.
Yep.
Um, the first prize I won was, and I don't even know exactly what it's called, but one of the things that you slip on a bench to help keep you in place.
Well,
Um,
I think that came from Adam, right?
it did, yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, with a nice handwritten note.
Yeah.
Such a nice guy. So yeah, that was my very first prize. I think that might have been in year two, if I had to guess, for me. So maybe I don't know. I'm not sure what year that was, but anyway, that was the first prize.
Because I think
Um,
if I remember right, the company was moving over boundaries or something like that. It's
yeah, I think you're right.
like a bullhead or something was their
Hmm.
logo. Yeah.
You
Okay.
got it. Good memory. So then the next prize came, I think, a couple years after that, and it was a sand dune stepper. And I know you and I messaged back and forth a few different times about,
Yep.
just ways that you and your daughter and your family have used it, and that's been a lot of fun for our family. Hey, there you go. Very nice.
Yeah.
Look, we didn't even talk about that.
Yeah, I know that wasn't planned at all.
That's as real as it gets.
Yeah.
So yeah, mine's right over here, and that gets used definitely during the week. I normally train at night after the kids go down to bed, which is not ideal, but family first. And then on the weekends, my kids are almost always in the gym, so they're always pulling that thing out, and I love
Yep.
using it as well. And like you said, uh, various different obstacle courses and everything else. But
Yep.
I'll also, just throw on a football game or something and just do marches and
Yep.
that sort of thing, even when I'm not necessarily full on training. So that's been great as well. And then the big one that just happened this last spring.
Yep. So, yeah. So in the spring of 2023, Prime announced that they were going to give away one of their single stack units, with a bunch of attachments, all of the hookups, the whole deal. And people kind of lost their shit and thought that that was like the big king prize, which I don't disagree entirely. Prime's been pretty cool over the years. And yeah, and then your name got pulled and you got announced, probably would have been like the last week of May or something like that.
Mhm.
So walk me through that. How'd you find out you won? what was your reaction? What'd you do after that? That kind of stuff.
Sure. So a couple different things too, just about the garage gym competition. My only complaint, and I'm totally kidding when I say this, my son was born in November and my daughter was born in May. So every single time a garage gym competition comes around, the timing is just kind of rough. Because we're always so busy with birthday parties and family
Yeah.
coming into town and everything else. So this past May, and I should also mention, I'm in education. I'm a teacher, actually an instructional coach, and help support teachers. So we wrap up at the end of May every single year too. So May is just an insane month for my family, both from the personal side and the professional side of things. But anyway, we had just, the garage gym competition had just finished. And one crazy thing about that is right around the time of my daughter's birthday, I got sick and actually only submitted one lift this spring,
Yeah.
and literally was thinking, okay, is it even worth it? Should I even do it? But I had to
Yeah.
keep the streak alive. And I was like, well,
Yep.
I got bench in. That was the only thing. I didn't even get a chance to squat and deadlift during that week because of not feeling great. So I went ahead and uploaded everything, submitted everything, and thought, well, why not keep the streak going, you know?
Yep.
So whatever, a couple weeks had passed, and y'all started doing prizes and everything else. And every time the competition rolls around, I kind of keep an eye just on the schedule. And not honestly, not even thinking that I would ever win anything again, but just it's fun to kind of keep up with and see who's winning. And a lot of people have kind of connected through the community and everything else.
Yep.
So keep an eye on those things. And I knew what the next prize was. I knew that it was the single stack from Prime. Over the years, I've watched multiple different YouTube videos on it, and it's always kind of been a dream. And it's a little pricier compared to a lot of other pieces, and definitely high end. I thought, well, that's a dream, maybe way down the road at some point in time.
Sure.
So I think I opened up Instagram or something and saw that I was tagged from your account, and I thought, no way, because I knew what the next prize was.
Yeah.
I was like, no way. Just sitting around the house with the family. I think it was on a Friday afternoon or Friday evening or
Yeah.
something. Um, so went ahead and checked out the post and told my wife all about it. And she likes to work out, and she doesn't get quite as excited about the equipment side of things as I do.
Sure.
But she was excited for me as well. So that was great. Heard from you, and I think it was Jared initially from Prime.
Yep.
And the communication was phenomenal throughout the whole entire process. So very impressed with the company and just the relationships that you've built with both Prime and various other companies as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Prime's communication with me has always been fantastic. A lot of companies try and kind of like get more out of you in some ways. Prime's never been like that. They're always really happy with just being involved, and yeah, they're just, they make cool stuff and all kinds of things. So
Yeah, that's definitely the feel that I got as well. Like, it was genuine support. It didn't feel like, what can Tim do for Prime, but it was more
yeah.
them just wanting to support the community, which is awesome.
Yep. All right. So that was the end of May. Email went out. Hey, Tim, you won. Like you said, Jared chimed in. Probably got the details on like what color you wanted and stuff like that, right? And then got you some shipping details. And then it was a few weeks later, probably like, was it the end of June, I think? Maybe even a little bit afher that, because
It was actually towards the end of July.
Okay.
Just because everything that they make, from what I understand, is custom built based off of, all the specs and preferences and everything else. So,
Yep.
like I said, their communication was very timely. I think it just, with everything else they're doing,
Yeah.
it was July. And like I mentioned, I happen to be in Georgia. So we go back for pre-planning the last week in July, which is kind of crazy, but that's
Okay.
the schedule.
Yep.
The nice part about that is I have fall break next week, so I'm off for a week.
Nice.
But anyway, I was back at pre-planning, and I got a phone call during the day. I was able to take that. We got all the details for delivery, freight delivery set up and everything. It was a Friday. My wife was home, and actually my mother-in-law was, I think, here with her. So the delivery guy was nice enough to bring everything up into the garage. And that sort of thing. So, I've been waiting a couple of months, really looking forward to everything coming. Couldn't wait to kind of tear into it and start pulling things apart and get everything put together. And started doing that, I think, Friday night, and had to stop because I was like, something doesn't seem right here.
Yeah.
I was opening up boxes for a single stack, keep in mind, and got to J cups and spotter arms, and I thought, what am I doing with these? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
So at first I just thought, okay, they sent a couple extra boxes that weren't the right thing. Tore into the big old crate, which this thing was incredibly packaged. I mean, it was amazing. The amount of work that it took to pull
Yeah.
apart, but not a single scratch on it. And I don't think there's any way that there ever could be a single scratch on it.
Yeah.
So started to tear into everything and saw 2 stacks. And at that point in time, I was going through all the mental processing of it all, and just kind of paused because we were getting ready for dinner and then getting the kids down and everything else, and kept talking to my wife and trying to figure out what in the world I was going to do with this thing, and thinking they sent the wrong thing. Like, went through all sorts of different stages of emotions, I feel like,
Yeah.
from the excitement of it coming to a little bit of disappointment in a sense, because I was like, oh my gosh, am I gonna have to send this thing back? They sent the
Yeah.
wrong thing. So, reached out to you and to Prime just to kind of let them know what the deal was, and certainly didn't want to take advantage of the company or the competition, and just let them know what was going on. And heard back very quickly, probably within the hour, from, I can't remember if that was Jared or Tyler, one of them,
Yeah.
and just mentioned that they had kind of checked out my gym, and I guess checked out the profile online or whatever else, and that they just wanted to surprise me. And it was not the single stack; it was the full Prodigy rack.
Yeah.
So completely blown away and speechless, and still am to this day. Just how blessed and fortunate we feel to for that to have occurred. So incredibly grateful and thankful for sure.
Yeah. So the cool thing is, you and I chatted a little bit, and I'll tell everybody watching. So you sent the email, like you said, and it says, "Hey, I think it was to Jared at Prime. I opened up the boxes. There's extra stuff, and it looks like you sent me the rack instead of the single stack. Not complaining. I just want to make sure, like you said, I don't want to take advantage, right? I don't want to get a $5,000 piece or whatever, 7, whatever it is, instead of the 4 or something that I was supposed to. Please let me know." And so I get the email, and I had no idea. This was not a like, hey, Joe and Prime are gonna trick Tim and send him something
Right.
he's not supposed to or whatever. So I read it, and I'm like, and then I read it again. I'm like, I don't know what the deal is. They must have messed up, right? And so I text Jared, "Hey man, did you see the email we got from Tim?" And he normally he replies back like later that day. He was instant. And
No kidding.
he's like, "Yeah, we've been sitting on that for like a month.
Oh gosh.
So excited that it went through." And he said exactly what you just said, which is, they checked out your gym, they looked at all the cool stuff you were doing with your whole family and everything, and they just went, "Fuck it, full send. We're gonna send him the best of the best that we have." And then he finishes it with, "Tell the rest of your sponsors to step up their game."
Right. That's exactly right.
And I'm like, and I just replied back, I'm like, "Dude, that's legendary."
Yeah.
I told a handful of people. I think I sent the text to Adam too, because Adam works with Prime, and he's just same thing. He's like, "Holy shit, that's crazy."
Yeah.
So yeah, 100% them just being cool, doing their thing. I would love to take credit for things like that, but that most of the time it's not me, right? They did it. So
We're
very
gonna give you partial credit for the
yeah.
connections and setting up the competition and everything. How
that,
about
that works. I'll take it.
that?
But yeah, it was, I mean, I don't want to say just as blown away as you were, but like on the same level of, I mean, I had no idea. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
So
and
you,
I even went through the emotions of opening it up, and
yeah,
then even after I saw the email that they meant to do it and that it wasn't a mistake,
yeah,
the emotions, because when I first won and was tagged in that post, I think there's people in the community congratulating me and different things, and somebody else kind of made a joke of, "Oh, good, I won't have to clear out space in my
oh, yeah.
gym," or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Um, And I can't tell you with the single stack, I don't have a huge space. But even with the single stack, how many times, you're always like, okay, could I move something around? Could I shift something around to be more efficient, create a little bit more space? So I had done that so many different times with the single stack and that footprint. And then this thing came and I thought, oh my gosh, I don't even know if I have room for it because I
Yeah.
didn't know the dimensions of it or anything.
Yeah.
I figured out that that's what was in the crate. But honestly, the footprint's not a whole lot bigger than what the single stack is, just with the legs coming out of the
Sure.
single stack. So
Yeah.
it landed in the same spot that the single stack was going to go.
Nice. The moral of the story is compete in the GGC.
I think it's crazy not to participate, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I said, I have some buddies that are aware of it, that I've invited over to participate at times. And, I know life gets busy and that sort of thing. And they saw this and they're like, man, I might have to do that next year.
Yep.
And why not? It's crazy
Yeah.
not to.
Yep.
And I mean, the connections online have been cool too. I mean, to
Yeah.
see some of the other people that have, earned the 5-year sticker
Yep.
and that sort of thing, and people that have been following for a decent amount of time. And I don't comment on too many people's things and vice versa. Just with the chaos of work and multiple
Yeah.
jobs and young kids and everything else. But, you cheer each other on and I love it. The inclusive, what's that word? Just how inclusive it is. There we go.
Inclusivity.
Woo! There we go. I'd have to clap out the syllables. But yeah, I mean, just cheering each other on and the nice, easy entry points and that sort of thing. So it's great.
Yeah, right on, man. They're coming back for the fall with their mystery prizes. So they won't have one big winner like Tim, but I think we're going to have 5 people who will take something home. I've heard rumors of what they may or may not put out this time. And if they follow through on what I think they're going to do, it'll be another unreleased product so far, which is pretty cool. And I'm expecting some PRs out of you with the additional functionality of that rack for you. So
I'm sure they're coming. I'll keep you posted.
Cool, man. All right, dude. That's it.
All right. Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, dude.
Uh-huh.
Bye.
Bye.